Welcome back to First Move with a look at more international headlines this hour. The defense has rested in a historic hush money case against Donald Trump in New York, with the former U.S. president not testifying. Jurors will now get a week off due to the Memorial Day holiday and are set to hear closing arguments next Tuesday. Haiti's international airport has resumed commercial flights after a nearly 3-month interruption. The head of Haiti's aviation authority said he expects the airport to reach full capacity soon. It had to shut down following a rise in gang violence. Well, more now on that shocking story about the rare death of a passenger on a Singapore Airlines flight that hit severe turbulence. Pictures taken afterwards give an idea of just how violent the shaking was. Objects all over the gallery, oxygen masks hanging, and bottles strewn across the floor of the Boeing 777. At least 71 people were hurt. They were taken to a hospital in Bangkok where the flight was diverted. It was on its way from London to Singapore. Let's get more now on this with aviation analyst and former 777 captain Les Arbend. Good to have you with us.
Glad to be here. It's a terrible event that we're talking about.
It really is, and I want to get your reaction to this event because you are a retired 777 captain. What was your first thoughts when you heard about this incident, and have you ever experienced severe turbulence to the point of passengers being injured?
Well, let me start out first with a quick explanation so your viewers can understand. There's two basic forms of turbulence. It's clear air turbulence, and then there's convective turbulence, which is turbulence associated with thunderstorms. So at this point, we don't know what that airplane encountered. Severe turbulence is just as it sounds. It's a classification. We go from light to moderate to severe to extreme, actually. So what they experienced was basically temporarily, if they qualify it as severe, that the airplane was temporarily out of control. So that's a real big deal. I fortunately have never experienced that, close to it, but never really experienced that myself.
And the pilots would not have had any warning?
Great question. So in this day and age, we do have things associated with our flight plan that gives us a determination of what, if there's wind shear, for instance. Wind shear can be anything from a rapid airspeed or speed of the wind up at the jet altitudes, or it could be a change in direction in a very quick altitude or very quick distance. So that sometimes is established on our flight plans. In addition, there are data-based devices on board that can also determine that, notwithstanding the fact that weather radar would tell you about it. So it's curious to me how this happened all of a sudden. Very rarely do you get turbulence that all of a sudden occurs just out of the blue, to use a bad pun. So there should have been some sort of warning for this before it all happened.
We've heard from several passengers. I just want to bring up a graphic from one passenger, a 28-year-old Malaysian student who described what it was like being on that plane. He says, suddenly the aircraft starts tilting up and there was shaking. So I started bracing for what was happening. And very suddenly there was a very dramatic drop. So everyone seated and not wearing a seatbelt was launched immediately into the ceiling. I mean, can you give us a sense of what would have been taking place? Because obviously as a pilot, you train for turbulence. What would have happened?
Yeah, what concerns me is that, you know, some of the passengers did have their seatbelt off, so which indicated to me maybe the crew was not aware that this was ahead of their flight. You know, if all those people were there, but then it was almost 10 to 11 hours into the flight, which meant that perhaps these passengers were simply getting up and ignoring the seatbelt sign, because after 10 to 11 hours, you need to take a little bit of a break, right? But what these pilots would have been doing, the minute they hit that turbulence, there's a good chance that they probably tried to slow the airplane down. The slower you get, the less severe the impact of the turbulence is. In addition, they may have immediately requested a lower altitude, which may have been very well the case because they descended from 37,000 feet to 31,000 feet, which is a 6,000 foot difference. But what that passenger experienced, it seems fairly pronounced.
And is that typical, that dramatic drop, as you described it, 37,000 feet to 31,000 feet in a matter of minutes?
Well, 5 minutes, and that translates to about 1,200 feet a minute, and that's not a lot of altitude. It seemed to me that the airplane at that point was under control, and it was merely requesting to try to get out of that turbulence by descending lower. So it's hard to say. It's a little speculative at this point, but that's exactly what the crew would have been doing, in addition to, as I mentioned, slowing down the aircraft.
And of course, Les, Singapore Airlines is widely recognized as one of the world's leading airlines. So if it can happen to Singapore Airlines, it could happen to any airline. What improvements have you seen in the way that airlines handle turbulence and pilots handle turbulence?
Well, like I mentioned, there's some data-based information that's available. It basically requires other airlines to electronically send data of turbulence they're experiencing. And one of the things I didn't mention, very often we get reports from other aircraft about turbulence. So sometimes it's not accurate because you're not exactly going to be in the same spot as that aircraft reported it. But there is some data-based electronic information that's available, more so than it has been in the past. And we're a little bit more accurate predicting those wind shear from the jet stream than we have before.
CNN aviation analyst and retired 777 captain. Good to have you on, Les Arbend. Appreciate your time.